Hi and welcome to a new video with my Volvoghini, Volvo with a Lamborghini engine here. And now it's getting time to finish this car up, I think. Hopefully soon starting it up and yeah. I'm soon getting some drag racing tires home here, and it's 17-inch and I need to make some wider rims for that. So I have some new Peugeot rims here and trying to see what I can fit, how wide I can make these rims, because I need to make this wider. It's 7-inch now and I think I need to go up to 9 or 9.5. Also I want to repair these rusted pieces, and the rear axle would be nice to take this one down, and yeah, I think the drive shafts need to be replaced, and yeah, it's leaking some oil, so would need to be replacing some seals, and yeah, check it over. If I remember correctly, when I had it down last time it was not 100%, and it's the BMW 220 differential here with the Volvo's pipes. These ones I will replace as well. Okay, the rear axle is down here on the bench. Take this apart and check the drive shafts and make everything as fresh as possible for the upcoming street week. And many asked about this rear axle. It's a special one. This part is from the Volvo axle. This is a special flange here bolted on to the BMW 210 differential. And here you can see that it is some bearing here on the outside, so it's just not the conical bearing that is here original. I just got some new parts here from MK Motorsport in Sweden, and I got a new beam here with a bit more clearance for the exhaust compared to the one I got before, and also some for the rear axle, and I will go with the Brembo external slave cylinder here for the clutch. I was planning to do the hydraulic release bearing here, but to save some time I will try to use the external ones here, and I do not need to make an adapter or something for it, so I hope it will work. I will install this, weld on this flange to the gearbox here for the main crank trigger. But to get the exact position for it, I used here an Lamborghini Gallardo gearbox and made a jig here. Not nice, but yeah, and it's bolt here. So with this I should be able to find the correct position of this one. Frankenstein jig. My beautiful jig here on the BMW transmission, and I have my aluminum bracket there, so well, weld it on now. I just got some flame-proof high temperature ceramic coating on the header here. Don't look close to the header, I'm not really happy about them, and it's yeah, a little bit of quick work. This paint should be baked in a couple of cycles in an oven, but you can also do it in the car with starting up and a couple of cycles cooling down. Then it should be a good heat coating here. And I opted for the cast iron. Looking pretty good, but there is also the black and silver ones. I'm not that proud of my exhaust. I'm a little bit ashamed actually, and yeah, they're not so nice. A little bit nicer now with some VHT paint on them, but the welds are not nice. Yeah, so hopefully I will redo brand new ones one single day. They start original from the original ones, but heavy modified. And I'm just taking some pipes, whatever I had, and some MIG welded, some TIG welded. Here you can see one thing, some extra whatever, because it was so tight here to the oil pump, so I banged it in there, and to make it not like a restriction, made this weld here, yeah, this kind of extension here, so the flow will be pretty normal. Here I got the port actually, because I had to cut this one off, but it was so hard to weld on the back side, so made a window here and was able to weld on the inside there, and then welding back this window. Also, some of these welds here are the original ones. Also, some of the welds here, they are the MIG welded, so for speed, make it faster to build this one. It's soon time to install the engine for hopefully the last time, and I'm doing some brake lines here, new ones. Also putting in one of these line lock solenoids for the brake, so I can lock the front brakes and do better burnouts in the for the drag racing actually. So a couple of more new brake lines, and then the engine can go in. I think we'll need to do a little bit more bracket for power steering pump here as well. One thing I usually want to do when building a new like a clutch or gearbox, something like that, is to connect the clutch outside of the car, so it's a little bit easier to work on it. If you have to take it apart, you want to see that the clutch disengages and engages correctly, and the clutch feel is good. Actually, the main cylinder here I changed. It was actually too light now. It was very easy to depress the clutch, so I put a bigger diameter master cylinder there. But one strange thing, pushing the clutch a couple of times, it gets stuck in the disengaged position there. So you can see gear is in, but it's still possible to turn the clutch. I cannot see what's getting stuck there. Very strange. Also, I could see here that this hole here for the trigger sensor looks like a bit too much forward, so it's not straight over the trigger wheel there. Maybe this trigger wheel is not exactly the same as original, the position there, so yeah, this is just tack welded almost. So I will put this a little bit further back, so it will be dead over the teeth there of the trigger. So I had it off one time, could not see anything really, and yeah, I have to remove it again and see if you can see why the clutch got stuck in there. Had the clutch out, everything was looking good. Moved the sensor mount and made a ventilation hole, so maybe you can see here what's going on with the clutch. Because I've been working myself on my cars most of all the years, I have some special tricks. So now I have connected a clutch again there, and I want to see the release, and put the gripper there with a tube on the output shaft, and yeah, sometimes I take it forward so I can reach it, but now in this configuration I could not reach it. So I will try the clutch pedal here and see if it releases and at what point. Yeah, there it goes. So it released actually, yeah, you can see in the top here, but it's not a good feeling actually. Yeah, I think something between this 0.75, yeah. But now it's still released. Very strange. Let's see what's going on. Yes, I found the problem, clutch not releasing. This tube here that release bearing travels on, I can see some marks on it. Yep, so it interferes with the clutch, with the spring, or I don't know really the English word for it, but in Swedish it's solfjäder, sun spring, sun feather, it's this called, but yeah, so this one interferes a bit, and yeah, just taking this down a little bit, grinding it down, or it will be good to go. Also happy with this position, so now I will do some more welding on that one. One thing that makes me a bit worried is the engine mounts, and I want to ask you what do you think about it. Write something in the comments. What do you think if this will hold? It's the engine mounts. Normally they are on the side, no room for them now. So now I will use in the front of the engine 4 of these holes here, and they are made what I think only to put the engine in an engine stand. So yeah, only 4 bolts. I will put studs in these ones now, so hopefully that will make it a bit stronger. And in the back I only have this gearbox mount, so it's a pretty long spacing between the mounts, and I don't want to crack this block. Should I make something maybe back here to the chassis? I'm thinking about that when I get it into the car, but maybe it will hold up. This is with a front mount on, and it is some rubber bushings into these, so it will not be all stiff. Like Formula cars, they have engine bolted to the chassis, but usually they are bolted up in the head, pretty high up and pretty low down as well. These are all in the middle. Little special moment here, I think, because this is the last time I will install the engine. Hopefully it will go in here now and stay here rest of this car's life. Do you think so? I hope so, but yeah, you never know. Maybe it's out in the morning. One thing I don't like about the Volvos and many cars is this feed through to the heater. Just normal hoses with the hose clamps, worm clamps, and usually the hoses get stuck and hard to get to them. So, and also this one is ugly. So I made this one. I will put in to the firewall there. Quick and easy disconnects with these HydraFlow fittings. Will be some O-rings there, so it will be tight. It will still be hoses on the inside there, but those will not be disconnected. So yeah, we'll sit over there, so a little bit tight, but it will work, I hope. Now when the engine is in place, bolted down, I want to put some fluids into the engine, and put some water and put some oil in. It's my plan first, to see if there is any leaks, because it's so much special in this car. So yeah, I have the last water hoses here lining up how long they should be, and press them. So yeah, first water and then the oil. All the hoses are connected and filling up this. Old radiator full, and it looks all dry underneath. Very good. Would be nice to turn on the pump as well to make some pressure in the system. But yeah, feels good to be filling up with fluids. Seems like no water leaks, so all good there. So I work on the oil to finish that one up, and made this one hose just now. The inlet for the oil pump is -16, and the tank outlet is only -12. But the great thing about XRP hoses is that they make hose ends like this one with made for a 16 hose but 12 hose end, or 12 nut there. So yeah, the special one will be installed there, and then just a couple ones more. Let's talk about oil filter and my oil filter holder, or my clear view here. There's actually been some controversy on the interwebs about this thing. It is a smart thing with oil coming in here, and we have a screen. so you can see through the glass here if something is going on in the engine, if any bearings are start wearing out or something. So yeah, for the start it's a smart thing. There's different variants of these ones. This one is with a oil filter. Some people are using just this one, but the thing and the controversy is that one user claiming that there's a design flaw in this one. And the thing is that it is a bypass valve here in the middle, and this one bypasses. So when the differential pressure gets too high, this gets clogged, it bypasses the oil in the center here, and it bypasses directly to the output. So if this clogs up, it bypasses the filter completely. So that's a bit strange, I think, but maybe good for something. But what this guy made was plug this and make some channels here, so the oil only bypasses this one and goes into the filter. So how it works now, because it's differential pressure, is that the combined resistance of this and the filter is what makes this bypass. So it will put dirty oil directly into the engine with debris possibly. And yeah, some people say that it's better to get oil pressure into the engine even if it's dirty than no pressure at all. But I want to have filtered, so I will modify this one, and also I have oil pressure into the ECU of the car. So yeah, I will put some safety measures in there instead. So I will put this one plug 1/4 inch into here, and then I will drill holes to the sides here, so it only bypasses this one and then goes into the filter. And yeah, this company, they have some instructions. I don't think they are talking about that it bypasses this pinhole filter in the instructions here. I have not seen anything, but it's also reading text like this, all capital letters. For me it's almost impossible to read, so hard to read. I don't know why someone do this, but yeah, looked like a nice piece, but it was a little bit heavy, and also this glass looks like you have to replace this pretty often too. So yeah, maybe not as good product as I thought from the beginning, but maybe I'm wrong. I will test this and we'll see how this one works out. I don't know if this is the correct way to modify this one. The company that makes these have made it clear to not modify their units, but I don't know if I agree with them. Now at least I am modifying these ones. So. Drilling and threading in for a plug here in the middle. Okay, just inserted the plug there and drilled some holes. Maybe you can see them. They are about 30 degrees drilled. So yeah, now the oil will not go directly to the outlet. The oil will go out on the sides here. I took the fuel pump out of the car because I think it's time for refresh. I think this is at least 10 years old, but yeah, it's still looking pretty fresh. And yeah, my fuel hanger was not looking so fresh. I wanted to change the fittings here, so instead of changing them, I actually did a new hanger here in stainless steel instead of normal steel as the other ones was, with yeah, was positive terminal there and some AN fittings there. New Velcro pump, and here is a little bit special. I modified back in the days the original fuel tank and added these this pump here. So yeah, just go in there rubber gasket, very simple, not the best one. It's good for acceleration because it's in the aft of the tank, but if you're doing some drifting you need to have at least 50% fuel in the tank. But I think I plan to put a fuel catch can in the engine bay probably in the future, but for now it will just be a new pump and new hanger there. Car is on the ground. Does it mean that it is finished? Nah, not really. Actually removing the interior out of the car. I will do this because I need to modify the tunnel here for the drive shaft, make it a little bit higher. So I will cut and weld here and will do some modifications. And also I will work on this mess, the wiring harness. But yeah, 2 weeks until I plan to race this one. Still no rear axle, waiting for drive shaft for that one. And yeah, coming along with the wiring, mostly the original wiring of the car I'm modifying because I have removed some of the relays in the engine bay and put it in the car, and also the bad old fuse panel I have moved and gonna use as much as possible the PDM on that side. And also I told that I do not have an ECU for the car. Hopefully I can buy an ECU someday, but for now I think I'm gonna borrow the ECU from the Lamborghini. Poor Lambo, but you're gonna sacrifice your Motec ECU to my Volvo for some time at least. Yeah, there we have it, M150. I will use the hardwire PDM 25 Plus for the power distribution of the engine and as much as possible on the car, and also made this bit of carbon fiber plate to mount the ECU and PDM, and will install it on the forward firewall there. So yeah, a little bit of luxury with carbon fiber to the old Volvo. Also here this is the wiring harness for the whole car, without the engine management and everything else I'm putting in. It's only 11 days to the Street Week Sweden here, and yeah, it's a lot of work still on the Volvo here, but I got some help here from Håkan and Peter. They're working on the fuel lines now, so it will come some fuel to the engine. New lines, the other one was really old. So hopefully the car will be finished and I will be allowed to put the sticker on the car to be a racer in this year as well. By the way, remember to check out my page busbil.com for some merchandise if you want to help and contribute and be a little sponsor to this car and project. Thank you for watching.